Hi friends, welcome to Aishu's DIY. Today we will design a project with bargain bead box subscription for the month of April. So here is the necklace. I just started it with and then I thought, okay, I just need to figure out if it will work or not. And I picked these two colors from all the beads that we have. I have here piles of the beads that we got from bargain bead box, and then I have here I have started stringing these beads. First I thought I'll just do this with the green beads. I have some 11 seed beads in antique, like almost bronzish color, 11 seed beads that I have. I bought this from International Gem Show. As you can see, it's a bronzy color which really matches with our color. So I want to stretch this 6mm because this is the only thing which is in 6mm we got. And the 6x8 roundels also I used a couple of them in the other necklace, and we don't have a full strand of this. And then this we have a full strand, but this is not also enough. This is just 12-inch. And then this also a smaller strand, and so we have variety of smaller strands. And the findings that they give was for a 2-strand one, as you can see, the toggle clasp as well as this one. So I just want to stretch that, so I came up with an idea like this. First I thought I will just do this, and then I figured, why can't you use this hammered 2-strand ones, right? So this is a pattern that I really like, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And so it's just 9 or 10 beads, whichever you want to, and then one shade or light shade is what the green bead is, right? So I added 9 beads in between. Then I added the 6mm, then 9, and then this bicone in gray color, and then again green, and then green again, the bicone in the middle. That's the pattern I just want to do. You can choose any pattern you want, whichever pattern you have available. And these are not branded seed beads, so the holes and the size of them vary very widely. You can just approximately do the numbers. You will not have the exact distance, but that doesn't matter. For this kind of a stringing project, this beads are totally acceptable. That is 6, 7, 8, and 9, and a green, and then again 9 seed beads. It's basically stringing, it's nothing much, but I think the end result will be pretty. Then so this findings, we have I think 6 findings. I'm just going to use 3. See, there is 2 side. When you pick up, if I do it here, then it will be wrong, so I need to do it on the left side because that's what I have been doing it all along, right? So just keep in mind of that. So the bracelet I'm wearing is a macrame bracelet. I have done a tutorial on this, but it was a different color. It was a multicolor. I'll show you guys which one it is, so you guys will know. So this is the one right here. If you guys are wondering, this is the same bracelet I'm wearing here, but as you can see, if you change the size, the same pattern, I didn't use anything different. So it is the same pattern. As you guys can see, if you change the size of the beads, this is 4 by 3 millimeter, this is 2 by 3 millimeter, I think 3 by 2 millimeter, something like that. Just 1 millimeter less. And also the code is here 0.65, and this one is 0.8 millimeter thickness. This is Chinese knotting cord, and this is a polyester cord. So changing the cord, size of the cord and size of the bead makes a lot of difference in the bracelet as such. I know for sure somebody or the other will ask, so I'm just letting you guys know. And then one of these bicones. These bicones are nice, pretty ones. I've somehow mixed black metal in this. I don't know how and why. 6, 7, 10, 9, and 1 green. Then again, if you can see here, you can see the irregularity of the beads. This is way too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that one bead off and put the rest on and add one more bead. Probably go for a darker green. Okay. Now, then it's time to add 9 more beads. It's basically bead stringing. That's all I'm doing. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then, as I said, watch the side that you put your finding in. So it's gonna be a long necklace. Okay. Then I have these 3 things, and then this is going to come like this, and then fold over to the other side. When I am coming in the middle, I can as well add the gemstones, but since I go with the matte thing, I'm just going to add a couple of these bicones in a closer fashion, just to create an interest in the middle. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So after this, I'm supposed to add a green bead. So let me just add the green bead now. Okay. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And after that, I will add 1. If I want, I can add multiple. That's what I'm thinking. This spacers I have, so I can try. Kind of looks okay to me. Actually, no. I changed my mind. What I'm going to go ahead and do is bring this clasp in the front. Instead of having this clasp in the beginning, we can have this clasp in the front. But I shall do one more of this. Okay. 6, 7, 8, and 9. So the number of beads in between these bigger beads is totally up to you. It's your choice. So if I add it here, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a crimp bead. You can use any crimp bead you want, because anyways it's going to be in the back, or you can use crimp tube. I'm just gonna use this crimp tube, okay, and come back through one of the hole in the clasp, okay, and then so this will be like this. So I need to come, yeah, this is right. So I need to come back through the crimp tube, just like so. Normally the wire crisscrosses, as you can see, so you need to just twist the wire and keep it straight, parallel, like this. Normal tendency is to go crisscrossed, but now we can take our pliers. You can also use the crimping pliers. See how I'm taking it parallelly, so that now I can crimp it just like so. I need enough a gap. See this? I have gap so that it freely moves, otherwise it will be difficult to move. Now I will try putting both the wires on top of the beads on top of both the wires. It's very tough, so it's okay. We can just trim the excess wire off. Hold this and trim it. Make sure you have nicely crimped your beads. There we go. So now this one is proper, right? Yeah, the strand is proper. See, I am working with the spool. I didn't even tell you guys what spool I'm working. Is 0.45 millimeter thickness. This is a 7-strand wire, and it's not a branded one. I got this from Gem Show a couple of years back. I have multiple of those, so I'm using it. So we have a very long strand, and as you can see, now I need to determine the length of the necklace, because I have to cut it right now, right? So I am just going to make this in 2 lines so that I can find out exactly how long is my necklace for now. Then we can decide how long is the necklace later. The finished product is going to be. So it's about, say, this one is 11 inches plus 10, I would say. 11 plus, yes, 11 plus 10 is 21 inches. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm just going to keep it around my neck and see how long I want this necklace to be. Okay. So I want this to be pretty long. So I want it about, say, here. So I want about, say, another 4 inch or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say this is 4 inches, and then I'm going to leave 1 more inch for crimping, and I'm just going to cut it here. What I'm going to do is, for the time being, where is my stopper on it? And my wire has gone haywire, as you guys can see this. I used to have a tape all the time on the side to prevent this from coming, because there is something that you can clamp your stuff on, but it will leave a nasty kink in the wire, which I really don't want to. So what you can do is, a good idea is to take some tape, good old tape, right? This is a thick tape which I had it before, but that's gone now. So I take it. This is just regular Dollar Tree tape, I think. So I take it and put it like this. So this stops your wire from going out. No kinks whatsoever, right? So we shall have this on the side. Meanwhile, we'll finish stringing this. As you can see, I am focusing on having the clasp in the front and all my beading in the back, right? And I am not looking for any clasp in the back per se. So hold on one moment. So I have 4 of these strands which connects the 2 beads together. So in the back, if I have this much, I should be able to do 4 here, which I didn't calculate it as much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove some of the beads, because I want here at least an inch for my clasp to go on to crimp actually. So if I do that, this is how my necklace is going to be. So from this point on, I should be starting to put the 2 strand connector on, which will be very not a good idea. So 3 of these connectors are good. So I'm going to remove this connector, and then I'm going to string all of these beads like this, because we don't want the connector in the back, because we don't want it to sit, sit really long in the back. So I'm just going to remove these. It's okay, it always happens to me when I'm doing necklaces like this, because I try my level best to figure out the pattern before, but if I don't like it, I change the pattern as I go, and then I end up adding the beads again, but that's okay for me. So now this is the pattern I have here, and then I'm gonna add the beads and come back when I'm done with stringing these beads. Friends, welcome back. And as you can see here, I'm just working in the back of this finding, so that's easy for me to keep a track for it. So here I added the 3 findings, and after that I added quite a bit for the back of the necklace with just the beads, alternating the bicone and the round. And then I came up again with the finding here and here, and there is one more here nestled inside these beads. So, and then I have here I haven't finished it yet. So we have this finding right here. When you put this up and that comes, so the outer layer of the finding, right? This is where I'm going to add this strand. So take a crimp bead or crimp tube in my case, and then put it inside that loop. This here I have it in the outer loop, so I want to follow the same, and then come back through the crimp tube. I'll just zoom in a little bit more so that you guys can have a clear picture, right? And then if you can go through the seed beads. If you cannot, it's not a big deal. It's really hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip all the beads and then push this. Use your pliers to hold the tip of the loop and just pull it, and then push the bead and pull, push the bead again and pull, push the bead again and pull. And we want enough distance. We don't want it, very tight. We want enough movement there. So I'm just going to leave it at this point. You can see how big the loop is, and I'm just going to crimp it with my flat crimp technique. I'm not using the crimping pliers. You can use your crimping pliers if you want to. I feel this one is much more easier. And now, as you can see, this will go in like that. So that's why I have this quite a long length of seed beads, because this can come and sit comfortably inside. As you can see, there will be a short difference because this comes down and this loop is up. So that's there. So these two won't be of the same length, but that's okay. If you want to take into consideration that, then you will have to add more seed beads at the end of this. But anyways, I am going to have a tassel here so that the focal point will be that, most probably. So now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm working with the backwards, right? So I'm going to add one more strand. Let me just zoom out a bit. So I'm going to add one more strand to this necklace. So let's take our beading wire and then start. So as you can see, you can continue the same pattern. If you continue the same pattern and the same number of beads, there will be a bicone sitting right next to this bicone. Okay, and then it will come and then clash here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this staggered, right? So that way, I mean, it's totally up to you of what you guys can do, or you can do this also. It works as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to count how many of this bicones I have, because I don't have much. In case I will have to, alternate those, because I added quite a lot in the back without thinking about it. So I'm going to add more green than the bicone. Probably I'll add one here. Okay, how much I have here? Let me just count. I will add one here, one here, one again, probably. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to introduce these bicones also, because this color looks good as well. So I'm just going to, if I switch this, then the size differs as well, right? So Yeah, I'm just not going to use this bicones because I have only say 6 7 bicones. 1 2 3, this is 6, and I won't be having anything for the back, so that will be a little bit odd. So I'm thinking I will switch the bicones with these, probably these two, because it's 4 millimeters, so I need a little bit more. So I will add this, or we can add this. Let me count how many spacer bead I have. I'll have one more, so I can do that. So I'll continue. First, what I will do is I will string in all the beads and then come back. Hi friends, welcome back. I finished stringing the second strand. As you can see here, I have the second strand started here. This part, the starting part, I need to change it a little bit, but as you see, I have just added the beads. So I want it to be a little bit staggered, not on the same place as the inner circle. So I just staggered a bit. First I thought I will calculate and count it. Since these beads are not uniform in shape, I wasn't able to do that, so I just eyeballed it, and then I took these connectors, these 3 connectors on the side, as a guide for myself to actually do this. And then I just kept the U format. I'll show you guys this part. So over here, I just, in the back, I just this bicones, the big bicones, I didn't use it. I used only the smaller bicones in the place of the big bicones. And to add some more space, because this one is a bigger one, so I added this spacers right here on either side of the green one. I added on either side of the bicones, and I saw it didn't work the way it was, and then simply I randomly actually strang the number of beads. I kept the count about say 9, but I figured where I like the beads, I just left the beads there. No rhyme or reason. If you want any particular pattern, you can follow that particular pattern, because there is totally 4 9s, which is 36 beads. So you can actually, in between one of the connector and the other connector, there is 36 seed beads and 3 of this big beads. So you can mix and match and do the calculation accordingly, but I like it this way, so I just did it. So here, when I come here, and as you can see here, I have these beads, and I wanted to finish it this way, right? So I have this bicone, and then see here, so I just eyeballed it and did it. And this connectors is of a great tool if you guys don't know about that, because it gives you a guide then and there, but you means so you won't realize it at the last, right? If that makes sense, because it's there, it's just like a checkpoint here and there, so that you don't go overboard with the distance between the 2 strands. So take a crimp tube. In my case, you can also use, okay, just vanished. Oh, there it is. So you can use a crimp bead or crimp tube, but I am using a crimp tube here. And then I'm gonna take this, and then I'm gonna come here and put it through this loop, come back through the crimp tube, take your pliers, sorry about that, really, my hand slipped, so just push it, and then keep, as I said, this will crisscross in the normal fashion, so you're supposed to do it. So just make sure everything is nice and tight, and as I said, I like to leave considerable distance. The loop, I don't mind the loop to be a little bit bigger, but I don't want it to be tighter, so that's something that I don't want it. So I will leave it a little bit thicker than, bigger loop than small ones. Go ahead and crimp it. I'm going to take my wire cutters and then snip this excess wire off. And there is a short bit, so I'm trying to squeeze the seed bead on both the wire. There we go. Now I shall push the beads to actually align properly here, so that I can cut this wire from this spool. I really like to work with the spool. I don't I do use bead stoppers, but as far as I can avoid using the bead stopper, I would like to do that. So I just bring in here. So this side is totally done for us now. It's only this side, and as you can see, this side is a little bit different than the. So I'm just going to take this bicone, which is right next to the connector, off, because I don't have it here, the connector, and then this one, and then the bicone. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to replicate the same. Take this off completely, and then string a lot of seed beads. So if I bring it here right next to this connector, and let me count here: 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It can be accurate. The fact, because these are not branded seed beads. Even in the branded seed beads, I would trust Toho, I think, and Telica beads, but I won't trust even Czech glass for that matter. So here we go. I just need to take one more bead off also. And then 3, 6, 8. Then a bicone, then 5 seed beads. That's what I did the other side, so I'm just trying to replicate the same. 4 and 5. Okay, now I just want to separate this again. Okay, like that. And see, it should be a little bit more than this, because it's gonna come like this, right? So which is perfect here, I think. I'll just remove one seed bead maybe. Yes, and that's it. I take the crimp tube, okay, go through this loop, come back, and go through the crimp tube. Take your pliers and tighten that up. That loop is good enough for me. Just going to go ahead and crimp that right there. Snip off the excess wire, and that's it. That crimping is done right there. Okay. That's a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, I guess. See this? I want these two to be straight. This one is a little shorter than this. Hopefully the round is fine, or else I will have to do it again. Probably cut these off and make this short or something like that, but it will affect the design. So let's see after shifting this on the outer part, right? There we go. It looks pretty well for me. And if you go through this from underneath, there we go. Look at that. Kind of looks really proportionate in my opinion. So from here to here. So now this is basically done, but what I want to do here is I want to actually do some dangles here. So the dangles I don't want to be doing with wire, because if you can see, this one is really thick, right, and it's not rounded as well. So what I'm thinking of doing dangles with is some cord. So I will try a couple of them and then I'll come back and show you guys how to do it. Hi friends, welcome back. So here I figured it out. So I did a tassel just like that, and I really liked the way it turned out to be. So I did it in this ring clasp that we have. So I chose these three colors because I know this is not a matching color for this. I don't want to take away the I have some lighter colors which I don't want to use, and I don't have the exact green per se, but I just don't want the lighter version or brighter version. So that's why I chose this dark green, dark brown, and dark brick color kind of. And I also don't have this tan color. Tan I have, but it is more like, you know, lighter tan, which I don't want it to be. So I just picked this color. This is about, say, I used about, say, 13 inches of a thread for this, just two dangles, right? So this one is a little less than 13 inches, probably 11 inches or 11 and a quarter inch or so. So that's okay, because I'm just going to snip off this. I want this long tassel. That's good enough. So I just fold this. Okay, take 12 inches, put it down the loop through this ring, and put these two cords through that loop and tighten that. That's a lark's head knot. Right, that's what I did right here. So what I'm going to now do is go ahead and tie an overhand knot. I'm going to tie an overhand knot pretty close to the lark's head knot that we did. If possible, you take a cord which is longer that's what I recommend. Don't go for shorter cord. It's always difficult to deal with the shorter cord. So I just did a knot pretty close to the knot. I just randomly did it. If you want to measure, you can go ahead and measure it, but that's what I did. So take my end of this cord and melt it a bit. So after I melted the end, I added the bicone and then I put a knot again after the bicone. So for the knotting purpose, you can use knotting doll or something. The bead-along bead knotting tool or something like that you can use, but I like to use this bead all. It's very helpful because once you make that knot, you put the bead all inside the knot, okay, and then just bring it down closer to the bicone. And if you can see here, I will just zoom in a little bit more. If you can see here, the knot is very loose. I take my pliers, the needle nose or tweezer nose pliers, and just hold it here and push the knot up right next to the bead. So that way it will be right next to the knot. So make sure it's then the lockside knot is proper, and it's gonna come undone. So I will anyways put some glue to secure that, but as you can see, this is what we have here. And then I want to add some of this gray bicone here. Probably I will add it like way here. Doesn't have to be scattered or something, it just depends. Here I put 4, here I put 3. It's totally up to you how many you want it there. So I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot, overhand knot. Once I put an overhand knot, right, then I put the bead all inside and then bring it where I want it to be and then leave the knot there. And now I can add the bicone to this cord, right? Then again go ahead and do a knot. Put the bead all inside the knot and hold the end. Bring it all the way closer to the bicone or whichever bead you have here, and then push that knot down. So that's nice and secure. What I will do is I'll just move this so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing without any distractions, right? You can so just to have an idea, you can have this right next to it, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see how long this should be. I'm just not going to cut very tight, but I'm going to cut it about, say, here, right? But I want this length to be maintained with everything, so I'm keeping that as a guide here. So I just go ahead and do one more knot, right, and then take my bead all and bring it right close to that bead right here. Okay, you can do it up or down, it's totally up to you. I should have done it a little bit lower. The Chinese knotting cord, the knot is not like a forever knot. You can still manipulate it until you glue it or you burn the ends. That's how it gets secure. So it's not a difficult task to remove the knot as such. See this? I have loosened that knot. Now I put my bead all and then move the knot towards the end, right there. Okay. And now I can add some green beads again. So I'm choosing to add this spacer at the end of everything. So it's just my preference. If you want, you can add more spaces, less spacer, or just a lot of beads in the strand. However you prefer like doing it, go ahead and do it. There is no rhyme or reason as to, you know, as a pattern. Whichever you like is a pattern that we are going to follow. See how small the cord is? It's a very difficult task to deal with the smaller cord. So I would say cut about 14 inches of thread and then do this knotting. That will be peaceful. Trust me. Okay, we did that. And then in this, what I'm going to do here is again add a knot. Probably I will do only 2 beads in this tangle. There I have the knot there. What I'm going to start is with the green bead. You can just put the green bead plain, or you can do 2 spacers. It's totally up to you. I'm gonna put just 2 spacers since I'm doing only 2 beads in this cord. There we go. I added that. Now take it, wrap it around your finger, take the cord and bring it underneath that loop that you created and pull through. That's an overhand knot. Put your bead all and then bring it all the way next to the finding or the spacer bead. Take your pliers and just push that knot right next to it. So that way it's very close. Now I'm going to put a knot here at the end, actually. Closer to the end. Take a bicone, add a bicone, and then if possible make a knot here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take the entire thing and then slowly bring the knot down. Put your pliers through the knot and grab the end of the cord. Let's see if I will make it. There we go. I did it. Right? Great. I just wanted it to be more or less similar. Not same per se, but more or less similar. When I cut it and melt it, it should be a little bit similar. Okay, now the third cord, which is this, which is a very long cord, which I really like. I don't want to be struggling. So how I did with these. take that cord, take the end and put it through that loop and bring it down. That's a lark's head knot. Now you separate those two cords and start knotting. Take it, go around your wrist or your finger, sorry, and pull it through and push it up. Now take the cord. Okay, now we are going to add some gray beads. Maybe I just wanted to use the beads that I have used here, so probably I'll do a bicone. This end is already melted, so it's easy for me to add a bicone here. So probably I will add more bicones in this tassel. You can also do this. You can also push it like this and then, push that right next to it. So there's a lot of ways here to do the knot. And it's okay if it moves a little bit. I'm fine with it. But if you are concerned, then make it tight. Then again, I need a knot. I'm going to take the bead all and leave the knot right there. And then take the bicone, the bigger one, and add it and go around, bring it, make that knot, take the bead all, push the knot all the way, take the pliers and push it down. I also do hand knotting. Let me show you guys how I do that. I'll do one more green here. Actually, I'll do one more bicone. Do an overhand knot. You get the idea, right? How to do this. That's all. I'll finish this off and come back. So here we go. I added all the dangles. So I'm okay with just 3 dangles because anyways we have our clasp that will go in here, and so this is how it looks like. So it's all the dangles are dangled. Okay, here we go. I like the way it turned out to be. It's more or less pretty much the same size. All I would do is take my lighter and just burn it. You don't have to burn it like close to the bead if you don't want it, but you can burn it like a little bit or so. I would like it to be, I think we can do it close to the bead, doesn't matter. So snip that excess off. So why we are doing this is for it to not come undone. So now this lark's head knot can be removed as well, okay? But if you don't want this to actually get loosened up or so, just put a drop of glue on top of these knots. That will work perfectly fine. And our necklace is done. So it goes like this and comes like that, and then I think I did it opposite, but there we go. Okay. So this toggle right here, comes like this and goes up like that. This has to be like this. So this is how it looks. I like this dangle quite a lot, and this necklace as well. I hope you guys like it too. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos almost every day. It comes around 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day and bye. This is Bargain Bead Box subscription necklace for the month of April 2022. Bye.